Hey, this is Ace the Real Intellect Perspective. I'm solo dolo until one of my guys come in. He's late. But until then, I got a remarkable man that's on the show today. He's doing a phone interview. So I want him to represent himself and let me know what he's all about. Mr. Prince.
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
All right, tell me a little bit about yourself, brother.
As he said, my name Prince Hot Boy. I'm an artist. I'm a rapper from Chicago, Illinois. Grew up here, live here. On top of being an artist, you know, I'm actually doing like a little water drive right now for Flint, Michigan. That's what I really wanted to talk about.
Yes, sir, brother.
They're in a crisis right now, and their government isn't giving them any type of like water bottles anymore. They're down there fighting. It's like in poverty, in their poverty areas, it's like real bad. So before I even introduce myself, I just wanted to let the people know if you could donate $1 or $2, you could just PayPal them at Water Crisis. You can just PayPal them a couple of dollars or whatever you can do. They need it right now. They have no type of water services. They have no type of help, and it's real bad down there. It's like people are really going through the struggle. So I wanted to say that first.
Okay. Before we get into who you are and what you're trying to do, anybody there that's got relatives in Flint, Michigan, the brother's saying that they fighting for water. People is getting hurt. The government is not producing enough water for them to drink. So anybody that want to donate to Flint, Michigan, do they have a website or a PayPal account that they can go to, brother?
Yeah, the PayPal account is basically at Water Crisis. Like you can just put in Water Crisis to send to, and you send money straight through. Like that's the PayPal. But they actually have a Facebook account.
Yes, sir.
The Facebook account is 1 second, I'll give it to you. The Facebook account is, you can just look up Water Bottle Resource Site. Water Bottle Resource Site. I think that's the name of the account.
Okay, so anybody that heard that, you can go on a Facebook account. What's the name of it again, brother?
Water Bottle Resource Site.
Water Bottle Resource Site. Donate to Flint, Michigan, and people really need our assistance, especially in the Black community. You already know we are the forgotten ones, and it's a crisis down there. But I want to talk to what we're about to hear today.
Yeah, I'm here today to introduce this record called Letter to My Daughter. And it's basically, I don't have a child, but it's basically a letter to, like, I would want a daughter. It was basically like me introducing her into the world, basically dropping jewels on her, letting her know the reason why I named her what I named her, which is after a sister of mine who passed away in 2014 due to gun violence, named India Mickey Martin. And it's basically, yeah, I'm just letting her know about the world before when she gets here, and letting her know about me and her auntie and stuff like that.
Okay, you talk about Indy. My recollection of what was this about? What, 2-3 years ago?
It's almost 4 years ago.
4 years ago, young lady that got shot on 55th in
Yes,
Garfield.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, it was a big uproar about that situation, and it was on the news. If anybody know about India, my prayers go out to you, brother, and your family, and y'all lost, because she was a young sister, and that goes back to gun violence on the street, that we have to, change that cycle of blacks on black killings. And it only takes an adult in that family to talk to one of the kids or the nephews or the nieces that's in your family that that's a wild child, or maybe might be getting bullied, because people that getting bullied also commit crimes because they feel that they don't have anybody to run to. But no further ado, Earl, can you play that track, and we're gonna talk about it once the track is over with.
Daughter, it's like it's hard. I kind of dreamed of that. Can't wait till I can see mine one day, so I can give it a run, teach her everything she need to know. It's Prince. last name is King, so that's James, future daughter. Your father came up a little harder, but forever spoiled. You got named after your aunt got killed on 55th and Garfield. See, your body is your temple, always use your mental, and always strive out what you've been through. Giving up not in you. Your powers, you keep that within you, never to no man. And if I die, I will live in your heart until the very end. Understand? Young lady, do you understand? Welcome to the world. Your aunt, that little lady, was precious. Now she's having blessings. Some days you might just catch me stressing. That pain was too deadly. Attention, you don't have to seek it. Them standards I meet. Better, yeah, I overflow it. Girl, you better know it. See, boys, they will try to finesse you just to sex and stress you. You know the player type, but that's the devil trying to test you. Instead, find one that's attracted by your intellect. Give you attention, compliment you, and highly respect you. You know the difference. That's why I teach without teaching. I teach through action. I show you what a man's supposed to be. Tell me what a man's supposed to be. So when you grow up, you'll watch the particulars and he'll show you if you're right for you. Look, now on this journey of life, I'll be there every step. Know you gon' melt my heart the day that you take your first step. You my little petal of roses, baby girl, you was chosen. Made me the happiest man alive and you don't even know it. See, your mother, she was my queen, so we invested in you. I hope my words come off as juice as I inject them in you. As a man, you made me better than I ever be. Lead by example, cause one day you'll meet a man like me. One who'll take a stand like me. How drop you to span like me, protect you by any means, daughter, I'd do anything. One who take a stand like me, how drop you to span like me, protect you by any means, daughter, I'd do anything. Forever, my world, you're the reason I put a smile on my face every morning. You're the reason I get up and grind, cause I have to feed you. You're the reason I turn into a better man, because I have to show you an example of what a man truly is. You're my reason for life, for everything. You're everything I could have wished for. I love
you. Hey, I'm back. Ace the Real Intellectual Radio. Prince, tell me about this record, brother.
Yeah, this, like I say, this record is basically about what I would introduce my daughter into the world to. I don't have any kids as of now, but I would like to have a daughter, and I would like to name my daughter India. I'm naming after my sister. She passed away like 4 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And I basically, like, when I put it together, like, I didn't just want to write like a usual song. Like, when I write songs, I do it like an essay, right? I think of the main topic, and then I did the supporting details and details supporting them. But when I wrote this particular song, I did it like that, but I got more specific. Like, I wanted every line or almost every other line to be a jewel that a man would tell his daughter, or something valuable that a man would want to instill into his daughter. Because, like, in Chicago and in this real period, it's really important for a man to be in his daughter's life. Like, it's very important. And I know a lot of people that don't have father figures. So with that being said, it's older to hear that song. It could take jewels out of. I asked a couple of people that I knew, like, what would you tell your daughter this? You know, so I kind of put certain ideas from other people that they would tell their daughters on top of my ideas, and that's how I created the song.
And I appreciate you letting us play it on IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective. And I want to, send my condolences out to you, because it hits home, because I am a father that lost a son to gun violence. And for you to be the brother to write a song, and basically every line is what you would say to your daughter, introducing her to the world. And that's a big thing to me, because it is not a lot of men, it's not a lot of brothers, and not a lot of uncles and male cousins stepping up to the plate for to show love to these young kids that's out here dying on senseless killings and block tripping and things like that. But I want to thank you, Prince, for letting me play your track, and hopefully I could be able to play it again if I have your permission.
Of course,
Because
I really appreciate you even playing. It's a blessing, really. It's a blessing for me because, I want people to hear that type of music. I made that. Like, I'm not comparing myself to who I'm about to say, but like, I want to make that Brenda's Got a Baby, that pop type of music. I want to bring that back and make it cool again. There's people making it, but no one's like, it's not on the front street to where it's like it's cool. So with me being young as I am, and making that type of music and then doing it with the style that I'm doing it, or how I'm trying to do it, try to present it to the world. I want people to play it. It's no problem. You can play it anytime because I want people to hear that. Because like you said, there's not too many men that's stepping up to the plate.
yes,
And,
yes, sir.
and music plants seeds in people's heads. So once it can be a young girl that probably just heard that she probably felt warm when she heard
Right.
that, like her father was around her, was telling her this, and was letting her know that you are loved, you are beautiful. It's morals and standards. Morals and standards do pay off. You don't have to do what the next girl doing to get attention. I'm giving you this attention. You feel me? So yeah, you can play it whenever you want to.
Okay, brother, I appreciate it. Prince, I want to thank you for coming to my show and letting me know about this song and letting know my Facebook and iHeart and all the media that I got on this site. You know, brother, I want you to keep motivated. I want you to keep prayed up. I want you to cover your family because you are a man of God first and foremost. And I want you to protect yourself by doing the right thing. And the things that you're doing now, I salute you because you are our future. And I know your pain. I feel your pain because I'm like I said, I am a father that lost a child to gun violence. So anybody that want to hear this track on their own, where could they find this track?
I actually have a visual on YouTube. Just type in Prince Hot Boy. Prince Hot Boy with the I, not a Y. Hot Boy, HOTBOI. Regular Prince. And Letter to My Daughter. It's called Letter to My Daughter. It's on YouTube. I did a visual for it. I actually went to my sister's grave site with my niece playing as the baby. And I took her out or whatever. It's a cooler visual. It's really dope. I took her to Giordano's little pizza spot, let her, so it's a Chicago video. It got scenes of 55th of Chicago. So yeah, I keep it Chicago, and it's a dope visual.
And I understand. I know the area because I'm from 53rd and State, Robert Taylor, the whole headquarters.
Hmm.
So I understand what's the vibe and what's going on there. And once again, Prince, thank you for coming to my show, man. I appreciate
I,
you.
I appreciate you too. And say one thing before I go, please, people, do not forget to help Flint, Michigan. Like, even if it's any like preachers that's listening out, like, I would literally drive water to Flint, Michigan if they can get my Instagram. My Instagram is Prince Hot Boy. My artist name with I with not a Y. And even if you don't want to just go through PayPal, you don't think that is official. Like, I would drive out there, like, with just the water. People don't have to give me no type of funds, anything. I'll do it myself. I'm actually doing it anyway, but they need water now. Like, the church there is demanding people to help now because they're saying people are getting violent. So that's
Okay,
why
do you have a church?
that's the PayPal.
Do you have a church that you know of and have an address, and maybe the people that's in my Facebook and iHeart and iTunes land and that can basically send the water down there to them? Do you have an address down there so they could get it directly?
Yeah, I have an address. I have an address in Flint, Michigan. Yes, I can give you that.
Well, give me that now, and before you leave, I want to be able to put that on the air so everybody can go down to Flint, Michigan, and help those people. They're my brothers and sisters. At the end of the day, how would you feel if you didn't have water? Think about it. I'm from the projects. It used to be times where the Pice Bucks, we had to go to that little store across the street called Starlight and buy gallons of water. Or if we couldn't even afford a gallon of water, we had to turn on a fire hydrant and get the raw water that's coming from the water lines. And they always say that the water, you have to boil that water, regardless if it looked clean, you have to still boil it because it was coming from the fires. That's raw water. When it goes through our buildings, it goes through a filtration system to come out our sink. So people, $1 Send if you can, or two. I don't care. 50 cent, whatever. Them people in Flint, Michigan need our help, and they're our sister town, right? Right across from us. They state Michigan. You got Indiana. Help those peoples down there. I appreciate you. You got the address?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
It's 930 East Myrtle, which is spelled Myrtle Avenue.
Say it again.
The address is 930 East Myrtle. It's spelled Myrtle Avenue, Flint, Michigan 48505. Flint, Michigan 48505.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Prince, I salute you. And I really like that hot track, bro. And hopefully we're gonna start putting it in rotation when we start promoting Chicago music. Kareem is gonna be on top of that. His name is Kareem Lewis, aka 100K. He's not here today, but I'm talking for him. So when he come back, he can let you know how to link.
Okay.
Hey Prince. Hey Prince, this is Earl from Intellectual Radio. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
Hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. So we're here to Intellectual Radio. We're gonna donate 10 cases of water, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just come by and pick it up whenever you're ready.
That's what's up.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot, brother. And I appreciate you, Prince. And I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Hit me later. Hit me whenever you can. And shout out to y'all, too, for letting me come through. Shout out to iHeartRadio. I appreciate it. It was a blessing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. We're going to go to commercial, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to have hot topics.
All right.
Hey, Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com, another perspective. Well, I got my guy to my right. Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Peace and love. This your boy, Chris Davis. You already know. Smooth cuts and all. Just blessed to be here. Lived another year. Yesterday was my birthday, so I'm blessed to live to see another 36 in my life. So I'm glad to be with Brother Ace and Kareem, Reese. You guys going to be with us in spirit, so we just going to hold it down for you. But go ahead, Ace.
Well, I wanted to elaborate on, black on black crime, Black Lives Matter. I was looking through YouTube, and it was just one brother, they was having, the hot seat, and I'm not going to promote the CNN. It's CNN, but I'm not going to promote the little clip that they had. But it was this one white lady that actually was talking like a bully. She make it seem like slavery didn't exist, racism don't exist, and he was talking about reparations, and he broke it down where Jews, Chinese, Indians, Asians, anybody outside African American was able to get reparations in the government, which Lyndon Johnson, I think that was one of our president that made legislation that he was supposed to give us our 40 acres and a mule. We never got that. Now, if we're going to push for something, I feel that we need to push for reparations, because without black folks being slaves and brought over here to fight their wars throughout history, we should get reparations for our people dying and sacrificing our lives for their civil liberties, not ours, because at the same time we was in bondage. If it wasn't in change, it was in government. If it wasn't in government, it was in healthcare. If it wasn't in healthcare, it was in education. So now I have thought about this situation for a long time, and I feel reparations should come in at least three amenities: education, economic, and housing. Because if you got those three things, you can buy your own health care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, we deserve, because if it wasn't for black folks fighting those wars, building those crops, making sure that Mr. Johnson had his tea in the morning and his clothes washed, you know, whatever. We were slaves. Ford and any other multi-million dollar or billion-dollar company that's been in existence over 150 years, those the people should be able to give us our reparations.
I agree, Brother Ace. With that being said, we can also talk about, well, this past April 4th was the anniversary of Dr. King's assassination. With that, my perspective of what I can reflect to, King built the legacy for us to expand our horizons, to live a better opportunity as Black African American people, to live in a better society. Also, the generations that's coming up need to take heed on how we can come together as a whole unit instead of pointing fingers. But I believe that in this society that we can generate education wise, that's very important. You see that all the schools has been torn down, such as Robinson High School, as I rode past. Why is that? What is there any other schools that was being torn down?
There was about 5 of them, but I was talking about reparations.
Oh, the reparation.
We need to talk about that first before we get into the education and the economic, because as you see our president today, I just found out that he's trying to get people to take drops for food stamps and putting all these hurdles in front of not white folks, but indigenous Black, indigenous Mexicans, whatever. If you ain't Black, if you're not white, basically we got to go through a hurdle to get help from the government. So basically he's trying to put the Jim Crow attitude back into the United States and the atmosphere. Y'all see, he's the devil walking on earth.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that if we can push him, see, he already up under the gun, because they trying to formulate a plan to get him impeached. But I feel that we need to push reparations through all those amenities, because we deserve that first and foremost. Our families sacrificed. Our forefathers fought for this country, and it goes without saying, we do not reap the benefits of being free in the United States. Mentally enslaved, we physically enslaved, we are used as cattle through the prison systems. We are the last rated nationality in education. When it comes to expanding businesses, we second to none, because we have to go through all those hurdles. We got to make sure all our T's and our I's dotted and crossed. But here it is, not throwing shade at nobody, but you let the Arabs, the Georgians, anybody outside African American to come into our community and open up these businesses and feed us this garbage. But those things are ways you can give us reparation. We ain't asking you to give us $1 million and at least 50 acres. I'm telling you to give us our opportunities and open up them doors, just like y'all gave the Indians these tax write-offs and gave them free reign because you put in a casino on their land. We should be able to reap some of the benefits of the bloodshed that's on this land, from the south all the way to west, north, east. It don't matter. Wherever slaves is at, we supposed to have that.
Absolutely.
So then we can go into the educational field. Then you can go into, changing the attitudes of African Americans. The reason why is things going on in these streets because they lost hope, first and foremost.
I agree.
And when people lose hope, they get into their mental. I'm not saying they mentally crazy, but they get into their mental. That means they have these thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and some people act on them. That's because they've been oppressed and depressed and
For a long time.
for a long time.
Yes, I agree.
So when these people live when our people, not these, but our people has been manifested over the years, and it's been repetitive over and over for the last 50 years, knowing just 100 years ago, we was trying to get into having our civil liberties, learning, having our rights to vote. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get your Malcolm X's, you get your Martin Luther Kings, your Marcus Garveys. You know what I'm saying? Right. You get your Harriet Tubmans and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And not taken away from Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad. That's why it was a conflict. And we talked about this a couple of shows ago.
Yes, we did.
When Martin Luther King came to Chicago. Matter of fact, we talked about it a little bit last week.
Yeah, when what's called a daughter?
Yes, Miss Kim Harris.
Yes, Miss Harris.
So we talked about the police, the government, not the government, but the governor and the mayor didn't want to secure this man when he came into the city. Yeah. So now Martin Luther King had to see for himself, because he's from the South. It's a different living. You know what I'm saying? Down in the South, you can kumbaya, my Lord, and we shall overcome, nonviolent. You know what I'm saying? They beating us or whatever. But when he came to the South, he saw this was a whole different world. Hey, a lot of black folks say we free, we not slaves. You're not gonna hit me because we're gonna hit you back. So when he saw that, and he knew that the governor, the mayor, the aldermen, whoever was involved for him to come here, they saw that Chicago wasn't gonna give him the security as if he was down south. You went to the LSG. That's Lords, Stones, and Gangsters. The same gangbangers that y'all so-called call gangbangers. These organizations, these tribes came together and say, you know what, we're not going to war with each other. We're going to cover this man because we understand he's coming to talk for us. But at the same time, the government was trying to shut down on these same people. So that's why when it's hereditary, when it's an ongoing cycle and it's going on and on and on for years, this is what you manifest into my head. The kids, that's what's up under me. And even my mother, father, and my grandmother, we went through that trial.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now it's time to reverse the mindset. We shall overcome. We did overcome, but we don't stop there. Let's keep going. You know what I'm saying? We're going to demand our respect.
Absolutely. Brother Walk, I appreciate you chiming in on another perspective on www.intellectualradio.com. He said those things keep us enslaved by depending on the government. Subtitles, we have to change the mindsets to our peoples, and that's through education, our peoples. And I agree with that. And he also commented, says we can't keep focusing on what's happened 100 years ago. But the question is, what can we do now as a people to make it a strong community? I like that comment.
Let me say something before you say something, Chris.
Go ahead.
How you do that, you got to re-educate your kids.
Right.
You got to re-educate your household before you go outside that door. Educate them. And then the people that they involve themselves with, you got to be able to, they got to surround themselves with positive people. When you're around negative people, that's all you do is think about negative things. So first and foremost, re-educate your people. Then demand the education for your kids at these public schools. And that's where you get involved with the teacher parent conference, coalition, or whatever the case. Any parent, back in the day, we had parent plus. That means one parent plus parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to stop being friends with your neighbors. If not, be cordial. Talk about the issues at hand, not what little Johnny did to little Bang. You get them two together and you squash it right there. Hey, we both gonna get in y'all tails if y'all do this. Y'all got to start loving each other. Start loving on each other. Start speaking to each other. You know, make it a hobby. Hey, how you doing? What's wrong with that? Good morning.
There is no more than I agree with that. We also have to, like you said, education with the kids. The technology is what's distracting our kids. Cell phones. We need to take that away from them and to be more in tune with our kids to show them more of what's going on in the world today besides all these music videos that's distracting, all the negativity that's in the social media. So like I said before a couple of shows back, sit at the dinner table, have a conversation with your family. They don't have that no more. There is no family discussions around the tables no more. They're too busy being on their phones, video games, TV as well, instead of coming around as a circle to evaluate each other. Like Ace was saying, love each other, come together as one. So that's the part that's missing in the Black community as well.
You got to show solidarity. You have to show that you with your community, but parents got to be parents,
Absolutely.
and got to stay on them. You know, you got to monitor them. They'll say, well, you're destroying my private space. You don't have a private space when you ain't paying no bills in my house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and you if you feel that you need to have your peace and your privacy, get out of my house. You got to start putting that fear of parenting in these kids. You know, you don't have to beat them down with a baseball bat. You ain't got to whoop them with a whip or whatever the case may be. But you know, when a kid starts smelling themselves, they think they can outwit the parent. You know, that's that child psychology. That's what my mom used to say what I did. It was child psychology. Well, you know, you got to reverse it because they using psychology on you.
Right.
You know, you want them to, you know, I've seen parents where I don't want to do this. You get out of my face. Just get out of my face. I'll do it myself. Don't ask me for nothing. No. You tell them to get up there and do what you ask them to do. They don't run you. You run, you know, you run them.
And the old saying when they hear about, oh, these kids are driving me crazy. No, you got to drive them crazy. So that way, as they get older, they can reflect on what mom and dad did. Like I can reflect on what my parents used to do. They put fire in my behind. And at the end of the day, I appreciate this. And that's why to this day, I live to see 36.
Exactly. And, you know, and everybody, you know, lived a different type of lifestyle.
Absolutely.
You know, but that shouldn't be a hindrance.
No.
Because my mom, you know, she raised me and my little brother by herself since day one. You know, like I said, I was just happy to have a dad. But at the end of the day, I didn't have a father. You see, so the streets was my father. So I had to take every little bit of what I learned in the streets.
So you basically had different father figures.
Yeah, I actually, you know, them wine heads that used to sit beside Starlight. Every last one of them lived a certain lifestyle before they start drinking. But you know, it's like this: a drunk man is a sober man talking. Because you're a little young boy, you need to listen. You need to listen to him because he actually educating you because he already been through the struggle. That's the reason why he's an alcoholic now because society didn't beat him down so much to the point where he's, you know, let me just drink and get drunk out of my misery. But in the morning, you still
sober.
But you know, you still thinking about what you need to do. But they got caught up in it. But at the same time, they educated the young kids that didn't fall into that trap early. And they try to educate us. You don't want to be like me. And them are the role models. Because even though they alcoholics, I bet you they got a background of being a soldier. Right. They have worked at steel mills. They picked cotton. They didn't sow watermelon. They didn't did anything and everything to take care of their family. and they lived their glory days. So if they could be 60, 70 years old out there drinking a bottle of Night Train,
I haven't heard
they
that in a long
should
time.
they earned that because they paved the way for my mother and my uncles and my mom and all them paved the way for me. So it's time for me to pave the way for my kids and their friends. See, the thing is, grown folks don't like to talk to grown folks. You need when your kids start hanging out with certain people that you don't know of, you need to be able to go and talk to their parents so y'all can have a camaraderie. Y'all can have dialogue on how we need to be able to make sure our kids come home and go to sleep and go to school in the morning.
Right.
Now, these kids today, you got these parents out here worrying about even if they're gonna come home, or is they gonna get a call about them being in jail, being accused of murder, and then they got all these trials. Then they do all these years and found out that they didn't even do it. See, it's a track record on everything. So I'm not a scholar. I'm just a person that been through the trials and tribulations. But as you get older, you start seeing the things where people used to tell me, and I was naive. My nose is, my ears green. The girls got my nose wide open. You know what I'm saying? But now as I got older and I'm a father and a grandfather, I understand what they say. You know what I'm saying? I get another perspective.
Well, I appreciate you guys chiming in on IntellectualRadio.com. Just leave a comment at the bottom. This is a good topic. I'm still puzzled about when I was riding past 69th and Inglewood High School. What are they going to do with that school? Can you give me your perspective?
Inglewood is not. I don't think Inglewood getting tore down.
Robeson. I'm sorry. Robeson. I'm sorry.
Well, they supposed to be putting over $50 to $60 million school, high tech school.
Really?
In a way, I'm with it. Because some of these buildings are dilapidated. Okay. But my perspective on that, you shouldn't change the name. You should be able. It should still be Robeson.
So it's gonna be like Robeson Tech?
No, it's gonna be some technology school. They ain't really talk about the name. They just talked about the building area. And I seen that they put green screen. I do construction, so they getting in the process where they tapping into the ground, trying to see where the water lines at, right. Testing the dirt to make sure that it ain't got lead in it.
I was gonna say lead.
Yeah, because that school is maybe 60, 70 years old.
Okay.
Now, what they could do, because at first they was going to tear down Robeson, Inglewood, John Hope, I think Harper.
So it's like almost 6 schools that was just going to be reconstructed.
Yeah. So once they decided, council meeting and stuff like that, they was like, no, we just gonna do one school. And not only they doing Robeson area, they doing the old what's that what was that Kennedy King area.
Oh, like they got reconstructed everything. Okay.
Now I thought about that, what you said.
Yeah.
And what hit my head was I'm gonna go back to this too. We talked about this a little bit. The guy that did Star Wars.
Okay.
That would have been a good area for him to fuse a new school with science.
Yeah. We was talking about this show a lot of shows back ago.
Yeah. And I felt like this. If the project, they shouldn't have let them run out because it would have generated
more
good, jobs, goods and services. It would have gave people motivation that their neighborhood is not just being constructed to a white class or condo class of people, because all them suburbanites want to come back,
right?
And they're so close to the expressway. That land is
and it's close to downtown, so they less minutes away, less traffic.
Yes.
They built it more variety of the expressway, more expanded, and they built more money.
It would have generated money into that neighborhood. Now, if the Board of Education really want to make this a big deal, they need to go back and have a conversation with that guy. We might get you in a park. See, but he wanted a park district. And that was the discrepancy. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then you had these people that was fighters for the park district. fighting against them. And you know, we don't fight for the things that we need. We only going by what he say or your alderman say. It ain't what you know, it's who you know, who's a bootlicker, who's not the bootlicker. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the only way we can get things done in our neighborhood is we got to start voicing our opinion. These kids are the new generation. We need to put them on the front and protect them and let them give you their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
I agree. Okay. Well, I want to give out a shout outs to Deli King Restaurant. Also give a shout out to Warriors Dojo. I appreciate you guys tuning in on another perspective on www.IntellectualRadio.com. It's like I said, it's a blessing to be here on this radio show. We work, we strive for the best, and we got to be the best to get where you need to go. So with that being said,
that's what's up. Well, I just wanted to give another shout out to that brother Prince, giving us that track, A Letter to My Daughter. And I just want to say to him, keep your head up, cover your family. Anyone that's out there that lost family members and kids, my hearts go out to you. I know how you feel. I feel your pain. And let's start loving on each other. Let's start talking to each other. And next week, we're going to talk about bullying. That's one thing, because I've been through a situation at my job. So we're going to talk about that. That's going to be another hot topic for next week. Well, we're about to sign off a little early today. You know what I'm saying? Because it was difficult today. So I'm Ace the Real, IntellectualRadio.com.
And I'm Chris Davis, a.k.a. Smooth Cuts. And you tuning in on another perspective. I like to say peace and love.
You know, every man that have a daughter, it's like it's hard. To me, I kind of dreamed of that. Can't wait till I can see mine one day. So I can give it a real, teach you everything you need to know. It's Prince. It's a letter to La India, not referring to Martin. Her last name's King, so that's James' future daughter. Your father came up a little harder, but forever spoiled. You got named after your aunt got killed on 55th and Garfield. See, your body is your temple, always use your mental. And always strive out what you've been through, giving up not in you. Your powers, you keep that within you, never to no man. And if I die, I will live in your heart until the very end. Understand? Young lady, do you understand? Welcome to the world. Your aunt, that little lady, was precious. Now she's having blessings. Some days you might just catch me stressing. That pain was too deadly. Attention, you don't have to seek it. Them standards I meet. Better, yeah, I overflow it. Girl, you better know it. See, boys, they will try to finesse you just to sex and stress you. You know the player type, but that's the devil trying to catch you. Instead, find one that's attracted by your intellect. Give you attention, compliment you, and highly respect you. You know the difference. That's why I teach without teaching. I teach through action. I show you what a man's supposed to be, so I tell you what a man's supposed to be. So when you grow up, you'll watch the particulars and he'll show you if you're right for you. Look, now on this journey of life, I'll be there every step. Know you gon' melt my heart the day that take your first step. You my little petal of roses, baby girl, you was chosen. Made me the happiest man alive, and you don't even know it. See, your mother, she was my queen, so we invested in you. I hope my words come off as juice as I inject them in you. As a man, you made me better than I ever be. Lead by example, cause one day you'll meet a man like me. One who'll take a stand like me. How dry feet to span like me. Protect you by any means, daughter, I'd do anything. One who'll take a stand like me. How dry feet to span like me. Protect you by any means, daughter, I'd do anything. Forever. My world. You're the reason I put a smile on my face every morning. You're the reason I get up and grind, cause I have to feed you. You're the reason I turn into a better man, because I have to show you an example of what a man truly is. You're my reason for life. For everything. For everything I could have wished for. I love you.